I appreciate the people who view live, and if you do view this in post, you know, I love the feedback we've been getting recently. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I really appreciate all that. Okay. Now, if you guys haven't realized recently, I've been telling you that Nicki Minaj is just a very sneaky person, and I don't want to come across biased today. I don't want to also, because I seen people comment on the videos when I was contextualizing Nicki Minaj's like persona and what's really behind this image you're being fed. I seen a lot of people agree with me to say, well, I agree with you. If a woman tried to get you fired from your job and also threatened you and your family, keep in mind, she did threaten me and my family. She said, I know a lot about you and your family. What my family got to do with this? But this is what she said. A lot of people agreed with me to say, you are within your right to hate this chick for an eternity. Now, while, if it gets personal with me and her, I always remember those things. If I'm commenting about music or her issues with other people, I try to keep what issue she has with me out of it, right? And that's the only way I could really do my job correctly. Now, if it's a me and Nicki thing, obviously I'm going to bring up a lot of other shit because it's personalized. But her issues with other people is her issues, period. So, I told you about this whole Cardi B shit. And, obviously they've been getting into it. And this is the cleverness of Nicki Minaj. So I want to put this in perspective. So Offset, and I'm only crystallizing and showing you guys this because if you ask the Barbs, Nicki don't bother nobody and everybody bothers her. Okay. So Offset, let's go to Offset Instagram, actually. Offset YRN. He dropped a song on September 15th, which is about like 2 weeks ago. Right? Yeah. About like 2 weeks ago. Or about a week and a half at this point. He dropped a song called Fan. Okay? It was the first track off this album that's going to be called Set It Off. Okay? Apparently that's dropping on October 13th. He wants people to support it. Right? The single he dropped, and let me see if I could find it. It's important I find it. Oh, no, I gotta, give me a second. It's really recent, so it's not here. It's probably up to here. Not here. It's gonna be up to here. It's after the 15th he dropped it. Okay, cool. The fuck? Okay. So he dropped a song. You can see he posted on the 14th, so that's the night before it came out. He says, Fan, directed by me and Midnight. He had like a little skit at the beginning, and you'll notice pretty much, he's turning up or whatever the case is. I'm not going to play the music. Mad niggas out there. Yeah, I can't really play everything because we're going to be copywritten. What you're going to notice is that this music video and a lot of what he's doing, you could easily see. By the way, Kai Sinat's in the video. Salute to Kai. Is this Phantom? Okay, salute to both of them. It's very inspired by Michael Jackson, right? You're gonna see him doing the moonwalk, like you see him in that one short clip. This is just a preview, and then you see this other clip here. You're gonna see him clearly, kind of not only paying respects to obviously, his look. This kind of reminds you of. What's that? Is it Thriller? That kind of Michael Jackson kind of utilizes this type of imagery. I think it's Thriller, right? Anyway, you're going to see a lot of Michael Jackson-esque type of references and imagery. The one glove, you could tell, this is Offset, by the way. This fucking red jacket, which a lot of people know, very synonymous, Michael Jackson, right? Thriller shit, right? Look, the little lean, like everybody knows this lean, synonymous, Michael Jackson, right? It's pretty much really kind of, it brings you back to Michael Jackson, all right? The entire rollout was kind of centered around that. You'll kind of notice, what the fuck? I can't click on this shit. You'll notice a lot of this shit is, what the fuck? Am I clicking something else? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Give me 1 second. Computer's acting the fuck up. All right, anyway. This is some other shit right here. But regardless, he basically promoted this video with a lot of references to Michael Jackson. Okay, you could also see this. He's trying to at least embody a little bit of the spirit of Mike. Not saying he's copying him, but he's trying to embody a little bit of spirit. Okay, so he dropped this song. It was called Fan. That was this music video. The song does not chart. Okay, and one of the I don't know if it's sad at this point, but one of the reality that you have to realize is that, you know, Nicki Minaj comes off in her like 15th or 16th year as just very empty. And when I mean empty, it's like unfulfilled. Like someone that's been in the game so long, she's still obsessed with charts. We don't see any of her counterparts. We don't see Kanye like, oh my God, I got to be number one or else. We all do remember Nicki Minaj, which, by the way, that was one of the first times me and her like crossed paths, like directly, where she responded on Instagram. Remember when she was trying to go up against like Travis Scott, but Travis Scott beat her and she went ridiculously nuts. She blamed the baby. She said it was motherfucking Stormy being posted by Kylie that helped Travis Scott beat her, and she was like really going crazy about all these other things. So it's always interesting that Nicki Minaj, even in her legendary status, is still looking towards trying to validate herself with sales and chart positioning. I can't tell you another star that does that, at least obsessively. If Kanye drops and he's number 2, he don't give a fuck. It's Kanye. He's Kanye. If Jay-Z drops and he's not number 1, you don't give a fuck. It's Jay-Z. By the way, at one point, Jay-Z seemed to kind of be obsessed with that, but he let that go a long time ago. Been in the game too long. Obviously, Drake gonna be number 1, so you don't really gotta obsess about it. But Nicki does care a lot about numbers. Okay, obviously, if you guys ever follow her, it's her style to tweet out her stats and accolades. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, give me 1 second. So Offset Fan failed to chart. So on the Billboard Top 100, he failed to be in the 100 top songs for this week. Okay, so Offset's song did not make it. All right. Now keep in mind, Nicki Minaj, murderer / maybe sexual offender husband, just got into it with Offset. And some people, even me, I was like, yo, this dude is embarrassing Nicki. Now, I did come back later to say, we got to stop blaming this guy. Nicki's really behind this. Nicki's in support of this. She's empowering this. And if you needed any other reason to believe my assertion at that point, this would be it. So Offset doesn't make the charts. Apparently, he makes some like other smaller chart. He didn't make the main chart. You go to Nicki Minaj Twitter. If you go to her Twitter, all day she's been tweeting Michael Jackson memes. Same stale old tea. I like mine hot. She tweets Michael Jackson. She tweets a collage with Michael Jackson. Then one with her, and I don't know who that is. Who's that? Somebody laughing, and then Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? You also see her tweet after all that chai, or whatever the case is. And essentially, I'm putting the pieces together that you know very clearly she's clowning Offset. You know, as much as we were saying, hey, she's embarrassed by her husband's actions, she does seem to want to keep egg on this feud wherever it lies today. And I think that's the important part to note, because at a certain point, Nicki's the person that starts every fight or continues and act like she's about to smoke till it gets too real. She plays victim. You can't play victim when convenient when you've been with the smoke thus far, right? Your husband just got sentenced to 100 or whatever amount of days on house arrest because of his goonish actions. If you weren't really about that type shit, you would be trying to stay away from the issues or the person he was trying to go at. Yet, You are here trying to hype it up. You are here trying to poke fun, even if you're just trying to do it on some subliminal shit for your audience. Now, is there something, do I think she's doing something inherently wrong by doing this? No, she can do whatever the fuck she wants. Here's my only thing. You just can't play victim no more. I said that before. Are you the bully or are you the victim? Because I don't like people double dutching. You clearly enjoy whatever beef you think is going on with you and your husband, Big Zoo, versus Cardi and Nicki. Or not Cardi, I mean Cardi and Offset. Whatever ends up happening from that, whether social media clowning you, whatever it is, don't then come back and say there's a hate train. Don't come back and say you're a victim. You're playing into this as well. So all I'm saying is the gloves is off between all of y'all. I ain't going to tell nobody to do nothing or not do anything or say anything or not say anything. But I do recognize one pattern with Nicki. She's a slick motherfucker. She likes to play innocent, like that Barbie shit to the public. But behind closed doors do devious shit. It's all out on Front Street now. So later on, which you know is going to happen because the people have been telling you the same thing constantly. You're 45 years old. You're pretty much cringy every time you try to go get sexy. You're trying to compete with these young girls. You cannot keep up. You're the auntie. It's cool to be the auntie, but stop trying to hate on the young girls who are having their prime because you had your prime too. When people start crystallizing that and putting that into the air, don't come back around and say people are picking on you. Ain't nobody picking on you. They're keeping the same energy you got with everybody else. You bullied Lil' Kim. You bullied other new rappers that came in after you. Try to get them out of the way. We're now in an era, I don't think you could bully these new girls. And this is why I'm going to get to Ice Spice, because I think Ice Spice is about to enter a fork in the road of what I believe Cardi B and Lotto had to enter before. Okay? So I only point this out, Nicki, I'm glad, by the way, and Nicki, you know me, I'm a nigga who I like talking shit to people. I don't see a problem with you clowning Offset. I do see a problem with you doing it on some sneaky shit like people don't get what you're doing. Diss that nigga. If you that gangster, why you throwing subliminals? Diss that nigga, because you know why? When it's time for them to diss you or when the fans gonna start roast you, we don't want to hear you play victim. You might as well just start dissing. You already in the pot. You're already in the ring. Just start swinging. Don't, because you're not going to be a victim after this. Anyway, I made a statement maybe a week ago when I talked about this whole Nicki thing. I said, man, this whole female movement that's going on, Nicki Minaj she's probably like, I had to sum up her influence on the new girls. While all these new girls probably have looked up to her, Nicki Minaj isn't the reason why this female wave has started or is happening. If anything, she's probably singular the reason why it didn't happen before. Nicki fought to box people out, hated on a lot of women, and never just at least embraced other people or ignored them. Anybody that was a threat, she took aim at. But we're in a new era now. There's just too many.